What's up, Brad? So check this out. Your Hellcat has moved to D1. It's moving. I'm ready.
And welcome back to the channel, everybody. And it's been 2 weeks since I got back from St. Louis with my 2022 Charger Scat Pack. And I apologize for not doing a video sooner, but about a week after I got home, right before I was going to shoot videos on the car that weekend, my good friend Josh Laurent, if you follow him on YouTube, you know what happened. He crashed and totaled his McLaren 570S into the side of the wall on the freeway. And yes, he's okay, and Ethan, his passenger, is okay. I'll put a link to his video in the description below. But like any good friend, myself and Chris from Supercar Garage were there minutes after the accident to make sure, one, he was okay, and hand him the keys to my Scat Pack so that he would have a car to drive for the next week while he was here visiting in Southern California till his AMG arrived.
The windshield was cracked again?
You didn't know you were going to end up in a Scat Pack again.
Dude, I know, right? What the heck?
Hey,
dude, this is what I get for talking all this crap saying supercar lifestyle and doors go up.
That's heartbreaking, dude.
I know,
but
dude.
Thank God you're
crazy.
okay, dude. You scared us, bro.
Neither of us have a scratch on us.
Bro, God plan, man. We're good. God love us.
So that's what car guys do. We help each other out when we're down, things happen, and we just keep on moving on. And next, if you follow me on Instagram, then you saw me post another new car. Well, it's not a new car, it's an old car. And I owe you an explanation if you saw that, and if you do end up going to see that, is recently I have acquired this 2005 CLK 500 Mercedes. It's got the AMG wheels on it, perfect condition, does have 110,000 miles on it, and it's going to be for sale soon. But here's how I ended up with this thing. This was gifted and signed over to me by my parents, and here's why. Because 9 years ago, my little sister passed away, suddenly and tragically, and it's a whole another story. But it's been a sad, sad part in our life that has been just looming over us for the entire time, and frankly something that we've not been able to really accept and address in the form of getting rid of my sister's old car. This was a car that meant a lot to her. She worked hard for a few years in real estate and bought this car herself, and it was an accomplishment for her to get this thing. And yes, she got a little fender bender on the side, and we fixed it, and there's a door ding, and and in the end, it's still a good car. It's been well maintained, but it's sat in the garage now for 9 years. Since she passed away, my parents took it out maybe once a month. I think in the last 9 years, a grand 1,000 miles have been put on this car, and it's had the oil changed a couple times just to keep things from gunking up, and they've kept it running good. And it's a beautiful car. It's an awesome car, but it's something that we've not been able to get rid of, because it was a little reminder that she's still with us, and it was something very sentimental to her. And our family cars have always held a high regard in moments in our lives, and this was one that meant a lot to her. So to sell it, just not something we were all capable of doing. So why now is it here? Well, my folks, being amazingly awesome people, came to me and said, look, your daughter is going to be driving soon, and we believe your sister Jill would have wanted this to go towards her car. Certainly it's a little old and been through a lot, so it's not the car to go to my daughter, because frankly reliability and everything else, it's been around a long time. It's an 05. But it is absolutely worth something, and they wanted to honor my sister in putting the proceeds from selling this car, hopefully someone who's going to take great care of it and love it, towards my daughter's first car. And that is something my sister Jill would have absolutely wanted. And as she loved my daughter, they used to play all the time. Remember, this is 9 years ago, so my daughter was like 6 years old. They used to play Barbies, and my sister had a ton of those. She left gifts behind, and my sister passed away right before Christmas, and had bought my daughter some cool Barbie stuff, and was still able to gift it to her because it was wrapped and ready to go for Christmas. So it was just a whole lot of sadness around that, and it's just perfect that this car would be put towards my daughter's first car, and I think that's the only way we probably could have got to the place of letting this thing go. Otherwise, we just keep it forever. So this car will be going for sale soon. I don't know what it's worth. It's probably worth $7,000, maybe $8,000. I don't know, but it'll go up for sale soon, and I'm gonna do a few things just to fix it up. The headlight's a little foggy, and that I've got a new headlight already, and there's a door ding right there. So, and that car will go for sale. So that's the story behind that. Now let's jump in the Scat Pack and talk about what I paid for this thing, and the payments, and the term, and everything. I share it all with you. I never lie. I tell the truth. Even if the truth makes me look like an idiot, I still share it with you. I'm not going to give you any kind of weird stories around, oh, I'm so rich I can afford to buy it. I'll tell you my FICO score, everything, and why I did what I did and how I did what I did. So let's go ahead and get that started. We're going to jump in the car. It's a little hot out today. So let's get with it. How about we give you a quick start up though? Beautiful. Yeah, those mufflers are coming off soon. Let's get started. So I'm going to put this up on the screen. This is the window sticker for the car, and really the only major options it had, I mean, it had the Plus group for $2,000. It had the driver convenience group for $890. It had the Harman Kardon audio group for $1795. And it had the sunroof for $1295 and the red brake calipers for $595. Other than that, it's a wide body with everything that comes on this car. So the base price was $47,385 with all the options. It was $61,645. Now I'm going to stop for 1 second and just say everyone keeps asking me about the Harman Kardon stereo. Is it worth it? And my personal opinion, and it absolutely can be disputed in the comments all you want, but being a stereo guy who, if you watch my old videos, installed massive stereos in my other cars, hell no, it's not worth $1,800. It's worth about $1,000. It's an awesome stereo, no question. It sounds really good. You can crank it all the way up and it will not distort. But the problem with that is when they throttle the thing back, not only does it not distort, but you can literally, like at a loud tone, talk over the stereo. You know, I grew up in the 80s when stereo systems literally vibrated cars into pieces. So for $2,000, where I grew up, we could do one hell of a stereo. Today, I could still do one hell of a stereo. I can have enough bass in this car to turn the thing off and it self-drive itself down the road for $2,000. But to have a factory system put in that sounds this good, it's nice to have. I do like how it sounds, but damn, $1,800, I just don't think so. I think if they charged $1,000 for it, maybe even $1,200, it'd be worth it. But that's how this goes, $1,800 for the Harman Kardon, and it was already in the car when I found the car, so we got it. Also, had the windows tinted, that was like $500, and yes, Napleton's did cover the cost for the window tint for me because of all the cars I bought from them and all the great PR I've done for them. It's a very nice just gift that they gave me. It's not something anybody should expect that they would do. They did that, and they gave me an additional, I think $500 off the price or something. But the way this thing fleshes out, which by the way, I think was forgotten, so they're going to send me back that money. But nonetheless, I'll tell you how it breaks down as it stands right now. So that's a sticker and all the options and the price. So the total with taxes of about $4,000 was $65,140. So I got the car for about $61,645. Let's just call it $61,000. Throwing back actually a little bit less. No, about $61,000. If they gave me back $500, so $60,145. So yes, prices went up on Scat Packs. Prices went up on Hellcats. Prices went up on everything. So it sucks. But just so you know, in California, this same car at many of the lots has a $10,000 to $15,000 markup. So I still feel like I did pretty good at MSRP. Some of you are going to comment and say I could have got it for cheaper somewhere else. And by the way, if you're that guy, just know nobody likes you. Like when you're at parties, nobody likes you. When after somebody does something, you tell them they could have got it for cheaper. You're the guy nobody likes. So you don't get invited to the second parties because it doesn't solve anything. It is what it is. This is what I paid for the car. There was a $1,000 manufacturer rebate from Dodge, which I got, which ultimately brought the car down to about $60,000. For me, about $60,150 or so. That brought everything down to about $64,950 on my contract. So $64,950. I put $2,950 down, and I financed $62,000. So I did this contract as an all-cash deal with Napleton's because I went through my credit union at Navy Federal. I would highly advise anyone out there shopping for a car to join a credit union if you can. My entire life, credit unions have almost always been either much better on the rates or much better on the terms. Where you can get a better rate somewhere else, you might get a very short term on the loan. Where at the credit union, I can get any term up to 96 months, and the rates fluctuate and vary, but they're really generally pretty good based on your financial circumstances. Also, where you might get declined somewhere else, you might get approved by a credit union who, because you're a member and because you have compensating factors, would give you the loan otherwise. So a lot of the rules that apply to the banks that are rigid in nature may not apply at a credit union. So I highly recommend you go to credit unions. Now, do I try to go through some of these other banks sometimes, still hoping that some of these advertised rates are real and that they're going to be able to give them to me? Yes, I do. I fall for it just like we all do, and I end up with a million inquiries on my credit, and the offers are always mediocre at best, because unless you're sitting on an 850 FICO score, you're not getting it. Maybe at 750, 740, you might get it, but even then they might come back and say, well, you haven't been on your job long enough. There's always something, at least in my experience, that you'll see. And since a lot of folks on my channel are younger, and you're probably not not sitting with an 850 FICO score, just get a credit union, and trust me, you'll be glad that you did. So here is my breakdown on my financing. So I'll just start off with this. My FICO score, it sucks a little bit right now. Now, when I say sucks, it's all subjective. Some of you may have lower, some of you may have higher. I'm not judging you for your FICO score. Don't judge me on mine. Mind you, I think I've bought and sold and given back 4 or 5 cars just in the last 60 days. The inquiries have pounded me. The closed loans have pounded me. Every time you pay off a car loan, you get nailed. I've been creamed all the way around on my FICO score. So where I usually hover around 740, when I'm doing nothing, when I'm just cruising through life, not using my credit, I'm running around that 739, 735, 740 range pretty consistently. When I bought the Lambo, 740. And I actually intentionally went down the road to get that score to be what it was to get the Lambo by paying off credit cards, by making sure that I didn't close any recent loans. I made sure that my FICO score got high enough before I even applied for it, just to make the whole thing really easy. Right now, I'm at 686. 686. I'm sharing it with you. 686. There you go. I don't know if you can see it, but 686. And is it higher today? Probably is. Paid off a bunch of stuff just to drive the FICO score back up. So when the jailbreak comes, I don't have any issues getting the lowest possible interest rate because that payment's going to be high. So at 686, I got a $62,000 loan with my $2,900 and change down at 7.49%. Now, before you go, oh, look, rates have gone up, but I chose a term that lends itself to a higher interest rate. And with my FICO score being there, I mean, I probably could have gotten a percent lower, probably. For sure, they would have given me about 1.5% lower if I went on a shorter term. But I did this on 96 months. So before you jump into the comment section and light me on fire, here's why. And by the way, let me just get the payment out of the way for those of you just waiting for that. $862.39. $862.39. But the reason why I went 96 months is because this is a business for me, and I never keep these things that long. I would never recommend any of you, listen to me closely, never recommend any of you take a loan for 84 or 96 months. I think the longest you should go is maybe 60 months. Because when you go that long, there's a 100% chance you're going to be buried in that car, and most likely the car is going to be dead or gone long before you ever get to pay that thing off. So you're carrying that $862 car payment for a long, long time. Really important. I will not have this car probably 60 days, probably 90 days. If I do choose to keep this car, which is always a possibility because I do love this car, for a longer period, I will never let it go that long. I will have it paid off in 2 years. I will make the extra payments, or I'll just take the cash and pay it off at some point. Maybe I'll take it to 3 years. I wanted the low payment because this is a business expense. I make a certain amount on YouTube, and then I spend a certain amount. And the last thing I need is an enormous payment for just a 3-month period, or to be out a whole bunch of cash just to get rid of a car and not get that cash back. I'm in a great position on this thing, not putting a ton of miles on it. If I end up selling it in California, the prices are way higher here, so I'll probably get out of it without losing money. And if I do lose money, I will have made it back on my YouTube channel and the tax write-offs that come along with the YouTube channel. So don't take my 96-month loan and do it to yourself unless you absolutely plan to pay it off sooner, because the amount of interest you're going to pay is going to be enormous for that length of time. My wife's car is a 3-year deal. My Lambo was a 5-year deal, and my Camry, I think, is a 5-year deal. I would never go 96 months. So get that out of the way. I don't plan to keep these things very long, and if you follow the channel for any amount of time, I've proven that. Will I do the red eye at 96 months? Hell yeah, because I'm going to get that payment as low as possible. I mean the jailbreak. I'm going to get that payment as low as possible, and I'll end up paying it off way before if I end up keeping it for long term. I'll never ever take a car loan to term. It won't happen unless I do a 3-year deal. It's not happening. Even my 5-year deals never get there. The Lamborghini, I'll probably pay that off in 1 year. So I'll only have the car 3 years and have the thing paid off. So just because you take that length of time doesn't mean you should stay in that. So with that, I think I've answered all your questions. That's the payments. $862.39, $2,900 down, $62,000 loan, 7.49%. Could you get lower? Yep. Shorter term, you get a lower rate, but you're going to end up with a higher payment. So with that, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, stay motivated, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Too many, I'm going. Too crazy, and I got bad ones, and they ready. A good time, so now it's in the whip we left at.